everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Attacker Productions. Today, I Banker off being joined once again by Jimmy's not here today. Whoa, that threw me off. Nick, Matt, and like always, Fluff.
Yeah, fuck Jimmy.
Yeah, you're not no Jimmy today. Sorry, folks. I know that's why you all come to this channel.
I was waiting for Fluff to say hey or something, but I guess he did say something in the beginning.
No, I said something after that. I said we'll be fine without him.
Oh, didn't catch that for some reason. That's weird. All right, so today, like always, there's buttons down below. Feel free to click them. They're there for a reason. Today's matchup is Nick versus Matt, Vegito versus Soul Striker Gogeta. Before we get into the video,
hi, yeah, so on December 11th, I'm joining a big collaboration of streamers that Jacksepticeye started called Thankmas, and I will be helping raise money for New Story, which is a company charity that helps build homes for families that are in dire need of homes. So just stop by at twitch.tv/Kathanis, that'sKthanis, on December 11th. Come by. I'll be doing a massive Pokemon Nuzlocke stream with a randomizer, and I really hope you all can come and donate some money to a good cause.
and check the links down below. Yeah. All right, guys, take it away.
Well, Nick, I guess I'll go ahead and go. This is Matt. I am back again with my blue Gogeta Soul Striker. It is performing very, very well at locals, so I have brought it back for this last week's tournament.
Yeah, and I played Mono Blue Vegito a couple weeks ago, and I wanted to try something a little different. Spiced in a little blue-yellow package with some of the new Set 15 stuff. I really liked it. It fit pretty well in the deck, and it worked well overall for the night. You'll see how it works here in this game.
So looks like I went first. This was an interesting matchup because I realize that Soul Striker has become, I don't want to say SS3 Goku bad in terms of just prevalence in local metas, but it's becoming it's getting there, and this may be the last weekend I play it for a while, just to get something new, both for me and for our viewers. But it's another blue on blue matchup, so it's I don't want to say tedious, but there's a lot of counter and back and forth, and you're likely in for a longer game when blue plays blue.
Yeah, I always considered blue on blue matchups to be a thinking man's game. Because a lot of the other colors have really high removal, and blue has historically not been one for that, so you really have to play out your turns very precisely, and you don't really have a lot of wiggle room for error just because of all the specific things you have to do in blue.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I actually like this Gogeta deck so much. It does have removal that a lot of blue decks do not have. There's the PyCon counter, there's the 5-drop Gogeta, there's Rebirth of Justice. I believe 5-drop Baby Ape, the counter Ape, also has a removal aspect. So there's quite a bit with this one.
So here's a quick question. I'm assuming, Nick, you didn't see Dr. Rota, so you just threw what you could out there. Matt, were you aware that killing his battle card would have awakened him on turn 1 like that?
Yeah, and I was just kind of the opinion after, because I'd never played against this leader. So I read it, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to play my game. I'm not going to alter it, because, I feel so comfortable with this deck at this point that I'm, especially, because I'm going to awaken on, I typically awaken on turn 3, regardless of my number of life, because of my unison play. I was just like, I'm not going to worry about it. It's going to happen sooner or later. And if there's a situation that justifies me, getting rid of a battle card, I'm going to take it. I'm not going to worry about it because, as I quickly found out, this deck is blocker heavy.
Very.
Nick, yeah.
I think we might have technical difficulties. Fluff, can you share your screen?
Aha.
So, A little behind the scenes. Unfortunately, for some reason, me and Nick cannot see each other's screens. It's kind of weird how this works out. So, Nick, I'm going to give you a fly-by-fly. Matt's on the 5 life. It's his turn 3. You have an open energy, but no battle cards. What was your...
What am I going to do next?
But he's going to take some damage from a dual attacking unison.
So, going into this game, did you play against Matt's Soul Striker Gogeta deck before? Or?
I did. If you recall, a couple weeks ago, I played against it with Cell Surge.
Okay, hang on.
And
is that playing against it, though, for real? Did he play?
Well, that's what I was about to say. It was more of me just not seeing what his deck did at all, so I didn't really have too much reference of the matchup. And I was honestly surprised by the amount of removal that Matt was able to play on me. He was just able to provide so much pressure. And you'll see that in this game, like just being able to keep my board relatively low and quiet really did a lot.
Professor Pig.
Yeah, he's the bread and butter of the deck. Like, you have to run it at a 4 if you're going to play this leader. It's just the value there is just...
Well, can you tell our viewers why that is, Nick, and educate me as well on the importance of good old Professor Pig?
Absolutely. So it's just a 1-cost blocker that will restand a blue energy when it's KO'd. Now, if it's removed from any other means or methods, it doesn't get the effect. It has to be KO'd, but a blocker just almost guarantees that it's going to be hit by being KO'd. But you pair that with the leader, where the leader untaps a mono blue energy and draws a card. For 1 energy, you're getting a net gain of 2 energy back and drawing a card. So there's the values there.
So I need to point out something real quick as a misplay. You tried to play the Son Goku, and Matt used God Sibling Trunks to bounce back to your hand. That card has deflect.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. Just want to make sure I point that out for y'all.
Read your cards, everybody. At the end of the day, it didn't really make much of a difference, but yeah.
I had no idea what the card did, but it looked ominous, so I was like, yeah, I'll bounce it and see what happens.
For future reference, Matt, before you throw down a card, just thinking, let me look at that card real quick, see if I wanted to throw it back, or if I could throw it back. Because like I said, what you technically did in that moment was, and this could be for any real event, you just showed your hand in a sense, like, oh, you have a counterplay in your hand, thank you for letting me know that this card has deflect. Do you just want to play the card, or do you want to lose your card?
And that's always been some confusion I've had with Window 1. I realize they do have to reveal the card before you respond to your Window 1 counter opportunity. But I've also always been wary to say, okay, I want to sit here and read this card in detail before I make a Window 1 decision. I've always, and I don't know how a judge at a regional would treat that. I mean, I know you have to play the energy and reveal the card before your Window 1 opportunity hits, but I also don't want to sit there and read the card with a fine-tooth comb before I make a decision, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's just, I get that from that standpoint, though. But it's also one of those things where,
I mean, you could also ask, "Hey, does that have deflect?"
Yeah.
Although, of course, you're giving away what's in your hand when you ask that question. Usually, one thing I do want to point out, and I've been an evangelist for this card, but Rebirth of Justice in a mono blue deck to get out 5-drop Frieza is just obscene. Especially if Nick had more blockers on. In retrospect, I probably should have waited to play him a little later in case he had more blockers on field, because I would have milled more cards and removed more. But he's just fabulous with Soul Striker. 5, and you don't have to have any red energy because you're getting him out with Rebirth of Justice.
Yeah, and its effect, it negs. Was it 30,000?
Every battle card ignoring barrier 30 on swing. So if he has 5 blockers, he's milling 10 cards and he's losing his blockers. And of course it goes off before they're able to activate the blocker window, so it's gonna, unless they're sitting on the Sin Shenron SCR or something along those lines, the attack is gonna go through. Unless they, negate, of course.
So, Kalfa, really good arrival card
Yeah.
that Blue Yellow got. You want to talk about it? Oh, and you discarded
Yeah,
another one.
Yeah, it's the new spice of the deck. It's just obscene. Blue struggles with removal, and this was one of my tech pieces to see what we can do with removal. Potential double strike dual attacker, drawing 2 cards, resting anything. In this case, I wasn't able to get the full value because he was completely tapped out, but still, a double strike dual attack blocker, 30k, is really hard to get rid of. Um, it did work most of the night. I mean, being able to disrupt combo steps, battle phases. I mean, it's really good. Enough said.
This was a particularly hard charge, as I recall. I think I really struggled here with what to charge.
Let's see. I see a Golden Avenger. I think I see a Rebirth, another Rebirth of Justice. I see 2 of the same cards, whatever that middle one is.
I think there are 2 Murray Chens in hand.
Yeah, it was honestly wild when you hit me with the second one of those.
Oof. That's a...
Yeah, I used Rebirth of Justice to get rid of Professor Piggy, and then I used Baby to get rid of his Kefla.
It's pretty good.
All for the low price of 4 energy.
Well, 2, right? Because here you go, getting 2 of them back.
Oh, yeah. Every time I play a blue deck, I live in constant fear of Zamasu super combo, resting my leader. So I've almost gotten to the point now where I'm like, I don't want to get cute. I want to swing with my leader first, even if it's not advantageous, just to make sure I get my 2 energy back, because I live in fear of that Zamasu super combo, because you're seeing it more and more in mono blue decks.
And here's one of my favorite counters in the game. Mafuba.
Yeah, especially with a leader that a deck that can restand the energy off of a battle card's being KO'd, right?
Yeah, or just being removed from the field. So even with the bouncing or bottom decking that he's doing, it's still giving me the value. Not the way I want it to be, but I'm still getting it. And Matt, have you ever looked at Mafuba as a tech choice for you? Because it fits perfectly in Soul Striker too.
I've thought about it. I need to think about it more, because with the way the meta is going, especially with early aggro, things like AOD and stuff like that. I'm not sure how good Topo Trunks is anymore. He doesn't do much against AOD. He doesn't do much against Kid Icarus. And the more I think about it, the more I think maybe he should go away in favor of Mafuba.
Topo Trunks has always been one of those cards that heavily favors its choice by the meta. And we're in a meta right now where a lot of decks past like turn 2 don't really play battle cards bigger than their current self. So, he probably isn't very good right now, unless you're looking at something like a Sen Shenron match or...
Yeah, I think I need to just move him into sideboard. I'm running him as a 2-of right now, and I'd probably be better served running a Mafuba, and maybe Mafuba or 2 in place of that.
And in my big turn, tap 4 for the Goku Black. Honestly, it's just a tap 4. You get to live another turn type of card. I only run it as a 1-of in the deck, and I've tested it a little bit against Fluff, and with all the amount of blockers on the board, it's exactly what it does. I mean, most decks can't go over 4 big blockers, or just blockers in general this amount, unless they just wide remove them. So it was able to save me the turn, and even though I lost one immediately on this play with the Gogeta, it's still put in a lot of work.
Matt, how are you liking that Gogeta in the Soul Striker list?
Which one?
The one that's currently on the field. I can't remember his name, but the 5-drop.
Oh, from Miraculous Revival.
Yeah, I think it's from the starter deck from that set.
Or yeah, he's fantastic. He's so much better than the goofy one that was designed to work with the new 8-drop. The new 5-drop is, I shouldn't say new, it's 3 sets old now. But the new 8-drop that essentially replaced Gogeta 7 is fantastic. The OG 5-drop is incredible. The only conceivable knock on the OG 5-drop is, you will occasionally find yourself on turn 4 without 5 cards in your drop, and he's sparkling 5 to get to draw 2 and bottom deck 2. So, you have to be mindful of, I need to get stuff in my drop, but beyond that, he's just amazing.
Speaking of the 8-drop Gogeta, I just noticed you have 3 of those in your energy.
Yeah, because I realized quickly in this game that, I kept drawing into I realized quickly in this game that I'm not sure he was going to be, worth the energy commitment to get on the board. With all of Nick's blockers, I was thinking I'd be more likely to finish him with Murray-chan than 8-drop Gogeta. Just because of resource efficiency, because I was concerned, my 5-drop may get popped. The other issue is I think, my PyCon was long gone. So really, it was more of a decision. It was more of an economy of scale decision where I was like, I'm just going to try to beat him with Murray-chan. And speaking of Murray-chan,
and Nick, real quick, you checked Matt's drop area. You're one of the players that are really good about checking players' drop areas. Now, a lot of people don't do that in the game because we don't have cards like Monster Reborn or things that tutor cards out of the opponent's drop area. But just for the people that might be newer to the game or not thought about it, can you explain why you check the drop area?
Well, it's honestly one of the good things about playing Cell Surge is you have to really know what's in your drop area so you can make your plays and extensions and stuff. And the big thing I was looking for in Matt's is I was looking for super combos and I was looking for Trunkses. I wanted to see how many that he actually played in that turn, because the drop area is a public area, so you can see it whenever your opponent just is generous enough to let you look at it. But it's important to see that too, and also if they have sparking, because if you run like big overwhelms or just sparking negates and stuff, it's very important to keep that in the back of your mind, just so you know how to plan your turns, and especially with colors like blue, where they can sneakily just bounce your stuff back to hand, so you're spending all your energy for nothing. It's important to know what your opponent's working with without seeing their hand.
One misplay I did there is I swung with lead before negging my baby Unison. It didn't affect the outcome, but, I should have been more cautious. Or more prudent, I suppose, to make sure I get the max, because I want to say I do neg. I thought I negged my baby Unison this turn, maybe I don't.
Yeah, and with this type of board state, it was really hard to come back from, because his removal on my side was just phenomenal. Like, I wasn't able to really keep anything, whereas my text for removal just wasn't prevalent. It did a little bit of work, but at this point, it's just me. Is there a way I can just weasel my way out of all of the swings?
And this is a
It
double
looks
strike.
like Matt is going largely in here.
Yeah, one thing my general philosophy is if they have 2 life and you're not worried about heroines or Vegeta's Final Flash or things like that. My general philosophy is if they give you an opening, you go in, and don't worry about dumping everything on the last swing. See if you can, because regardless, you're gonna force out all of their combo power anyway to survive. So you may as well push them on the first swing if you're not worried about Final Flash or heroines or something to that effect. screwing you over. Because I mean, I've seen many a game lost where somebody swings for game with a battle card that doesn't have barrier. They dump their hand, and it's like, oh, here comes Heroine's Lineage.
So, with that being said, thank you all for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed today's matchup. Keep in mind, there's buttons down below and on the screen while Fluff does the outro.
Yeah, it seems like this is the format for blue to shine. We've seen over the history of the game where blue's always been part of it, but it's usually paired with another color. And I think right now we're just kind of seeing the format that yellow and blue respectively are the two best colors in the format. So seeing two blue titans go at each other like this it's a lot of our locals, unfortunately. I know you guys don't like to see it so much, but it really kind of is what the format is right now. Blue is largely dominating events, even if it's not a representation of the top cut. It is what's dominating the floor presence. So as always, read your cards, know your plays, let us make the mistakes so that you don't have to, and as always, Fluff out.